A local student found dead in his dorm.
A popular rideshare company reports thousands of sexual assaults.
And in sports, WOUB sports director Thomas Garverick sits down with Ohio athletic director Julie Cromer to talk about her first couple months in Athens. Newswatch starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Tyler Corbett.
And I'm Ben Schwartz. Thank you for joining us. The Athens County Prosecutor's Office is investigating after a Hocking College student was found dead in his dorm last night. Hocking College spokesperson Tim Brunicardi confirms that 20-year-old Logan Lewis of Heath, Ohio, was found dead in Sycamore Hall. The Hocking College Police Department received a call about an unresponsive male, and an officer was dispatched around 9:30 p.m. The cause of death has not yet been confirmed.
Demolition is underway at Athens East Elementary School. Construction for 2 new pre-K through 3rd grade buildings is set to begin after the demolition is complete. Kindergarten through 5th graders who would have attended the school are taking classes in a temporary building behind West Elementary. The district is aiming to complete the construction by the 2020-2021 school year.
7 people are in jail tonight for alleged drug trafficking. These suspects were arrested on multiple counts of drug trafficking and possession. Athens County Sheriff's Office says the 7 were arrested at a home in Chansey on December 3rd. Local law enforcement teams served a search warrant at the home on 4th Street. They located and seized crack cocaine, heroin, fentanyl, prescribed narcotics, and almost $1,000 in cash.
An Ohio man's life may still be on the line after a federal appeals court heard arguments about his execution yesterday. Danny Lee Hill was sentenced to death for the 1985 torture, rape, and murder of a 12-year-old Boy Scout in Warren, Ohio. An attorney argued to the 6th Circuit Court of Appeals that his sentence should be vacated. The court ruled last year that Hill's sentence should not be executed, because he had shown signs of an intellectual disability. But the U.S. Supreme Court ordered the 6th Circuit Court to reconsider.
An Ohio man suspected of killing a couple last month was in court Thursday on an unrelated charge. While Larry Rogers has not been charged with murder, investigators say he is a person of interest in the case. Meanwhile, he pleaded not guilty to a weapons charge. Prosecutors say police were investigating the murders when they found a handgun that belongs to Rogers. He is a convicted felon, so he is not allowed to possess a gun. Rogers is being held on $50,000 bail.
A fairly gloomy day out there today. Hi everybody, I'm forecaster Nicholas Snyder. The rain has moved out, but it's still pretty chilly, and the temperatures are dropping as that cold front has come through. 46 degrees right now in Athens. Pressure is at 30.17 inches and falling. The humidity is at 79%, and the winds are out of the northwest at 7 miles an hour. Across the area, temperatures are generally in the middle and upper 40s. 43 in Columbus, also in Newark. Same in New Lexington, 46 as well here in Athens, 46 down in Ripley. Rain showers are moving out of the area, out of the southern and eastern parts of the viewing area as we speak, as we go throughout the next couple of hours. But the highlights for the next couple of days: a much warmer weekend is in store with temperatures that could be in the 50s, a wet start to next week, and then winter returns with cooler temperatures and possibility of snow. I'll talk all about that coming up in my full forecast in the next couple of minutes. Back to the desk.
Thank you, Nicholas.
Thank you, Nicholas. The ODOT Southeastern Ohio District 10 Facebook is asking for its followers to vote on a snow plow contest. The Paint the Plow program allows local high school students to paint an Ohio Department of Transportation snowplow with artwork that represents their respective school. Students at Athens, Alexander, Nelsonville, York, Trimble High Schools, and the Tri-County Career Center have created their own pieces. The voting closes on Thursday, December 12th. The school with the most votes wins. And coming up on Newswatch, a bill aiming to limit voter suppression heads to the Senate.
And multiple deaths in Florida after a shooting at a naval air base. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
It's you I like.
Hi, I'm Michael Keaton. Come to the Mr. Rogers neighborhood and celebrate the programs that have inspired more than 4 generations of children and parents.
Oh, I love this is the one where you blow really, really hard.
It's really magic. It's so far beyond just entertainment.
Well-known friends share their heartfelt memories on Mr. Rogers, It's You I Like.
Woody's Children celebrates its 50th anniversary in a star-studded tribute by Pete Seeger's best interpreters and friends, including Peter Yarrow and Noel Paul Stuckey, Tom Paxton, Holly Neer, Josh White Jr., Tom Chapin, Dar Williams, John McCutcheon, Kim and Reggie Harris, and more. It's standing room only in this moving tribute to Pete Seeger, marking his 100th birthday.
Many of the world's most breathtaking landmarks have been inspired by faith. These sites of divine worship remain the focus of deep spiritual significance and extraordinary acts of devotion, rarely seen by outsiders. Discover the amazing stories and the incredible people that surround Earth's Sacred Wonders. Available with PBS Passport starting November 30th.
People who complain about memory loss have an 80% chance it will get worse unless they do something about it. When you lose your memory, you lose your independence and the precious moments that make you happy. You can slow or even reverse the aging process. Your brain's history is not your destiny.
The House passed a bill today aimed at battling voter suppression.
The Voting Rights Act requires certain jurisdictions to get federal pre-clearance to change voting practices. It also broadens the criteria for courts to authorize pre-clearance voting changes, and for the Department of Justice to assign election observers. Democrats approved the measure in hopes of stopping other practices associated with voter suppression. Critics say the measure infringes on the state's rights. That opposing viewpoint will likely kill the bill in the Republican-led Senate.
The U.S. economy added 266,000 jobs this past month. Those gains include about 50,000 General Motors employees who returned to work after a 6-week-long strike. Other jumps came from the healthcare sector, which added 45,000 jobs, and an additional 45,000 jobs in leisure and hospitality. The unemployment rate fell slightly to 3.5%, matching a 50-year low set in September. Workers also boosted their incomes with an average raise of 3.1% over the past year. Weak gains were seen in retail and construction. And more troops may soon be headed to the Middle East.
The Pentagon is considering sending thousands more troops to the region as part of an effort to improve air defense capabilities. Iran recently moved short-range missiles into Iraq. That's according to multiple defense officials. The officials said the most realistic options include potentially sending 4,000 to 7,000 additional U.S. troops to the region. The Iranian missiles could pose a threat to U.S. forces in Iraq and potentially be moved to threaten Saudi Arabia as well, according to officials. Uber says it received nearly 6,000 reports of sexual assault in 2017 and 2018.
The ride-sharing company released its highly anticipated safety report yesterday. Uber says it received 5,981 sexual assault reports, including over 400 reports. The company notes 99.9% of all rides are incident-free. Uber first pledged to release the report nearly 1 year ago. Since then, the company has stepped up safety measures to help protect riders, including conducting annual background checks on drivers. Multiple people are dead and others wounded after a shooter opened fire at the Naval Air Station in Pensacola, Florida.
The shooting is the second this week at a U.S. Navy base, leaving many on high alert. Camilla Bernal has the latest.
Walking through the crime scene was like being on the set of a movie.
The Escambia County Sheriff describing what he saw after the Naval Air Station shooting in Pensacola, Florida. Multiple people are injured and at least 4 are dead, including the suspect, a member of the Saudi military training at the base.
The government of Saudi Arabia needs to make things better for these victims, and I think that they are going to owe a debt here.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis speaking with law enforcement and the president in the wake of the shooting.
King Salman of Saudi Arabia just called to express his sincere condolences and give his sympathies to the families and friends of the warriors who were killed and wounded in the attack.
The shooting happening just before 7 a.m. local time, and authorities responding within minutes. 2 deputies were shot but are expected to recover.
There was some real heroism today. I mean, real heroism. It made me, I'm devastated. We are in shock. This is surreal. But I couldn't be prouder to wear the uniform that I wear.
Authorities say the shooting took place in a classroom building.
I think it could have been a lot worse if we don't train the way we do.
And as of now, authorities say it's too early to determine a motive.
While a dark day, you know, folks, this shows who we are. It shows the best of who we are. In that one of us needs help, everybody responds.
I'm Camila Bernal reporting.
Coming up next on Newswatch, look at how to stay healthy during the holiday season. That story still ahead.
And weather-wise, we have a major cool down in store next week. I'll tell you how cool we get, plus any chances of snow. I've got all the details on that coming up in my full forecast, but first a look at stocks of local interest.
Coming to PBS, a musical celebration of Vienna. Join us for a gala evening of song, dance, and romance. Hosted by Frederica von Stade and Maximilian Schell. From the historic concert house in the heart of the city, it's a salute to Vienna.
Woody's Children celebrates its 50th anniversary in a star-studded tribute by Pete Seeger's best interpreters and friends, including Peter Yarrow and Noel Paul Stuckey, Tom Paxton, Holly Neer, Josh White Jr., Tom Chapin, Dar Williams, John McCutcheon, Kim and Reggie Harris, and more. It's standing room only in this moving tribute to Pete Seeger, marking his 100th birthday.
The legends of 1950s and early 60s pop return to the PBS stage in an all-new My Music special.
To spend one night with you in our old rendezvous. Hey, go party, go party. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Hi, this is Marion Ross. Please join me and Gavin MacLeod in A Classic Christmas.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Come on, it's a lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you.
Welcome back. Well, it was a fairly gloomy day today, and the clouds are still hanging tough overhead. They're moving out as part of a cold front that came through, and we saw some rain earlier on in the day. The rain has moved out. It's more affecting our southern and eastern portions of the viewing area right now, but it will move out as we go throughout the next couple of hours. Troughing in the polar jet, that's what's keeping us cool. That dip in the jet stream right here, again, that's what's going to cool us off tonight. But it will warm up eventually tomorrow, and we'll talk about that in just a second. There's that cold front that came through today. This low is actually going to stall out over the East Coast and bring some possibly major snow off to cities in the East Coast. Luckily, we don't have to worry about that anytime soon here, but we have a cool night ahead. That's going to be the big effect from this cold front. Lows will be in the 20s, and here's a depiction of what those lows are going to be like. This cold air is slightly cooler that will be advancing over the next couple of days. So tonight's low will be 26, cloudy early, clearing after midnight. Winds will be out of the north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Again, the clouds will clear out from west to east. So further west in the viewing area, you'll see those clear skies. Further east in the viewing area, we'll see A couple of clouds, and we'll mention an isolated snow chance for the north and east. Lows generally in the lower and middle 20s with a couple of 30s here or there in Jackson and in Ripley. So that high pressure is going to build in as we go throughout the next couple of days, and it's actually going to warm us up for tomorrow. 40 will be the high. Partly cloudy, much cooler tomorrow than we saw today. Winds will be out of the east-northeast at 0 to 5 miles an hour. Across the area, temperatures will generally be in the upper 30s and lower 40s. Cool spot 39 in Jackson and in Chillicothe, passing clouds throughout the day. High pressure will move off to the east. This cold front is going to be our next weather maker coming in for the weekend, and that's going to bring winter weather back to the area. We haven't seen that in a little while, in fact, a couple of weeks, but winter is returning for next week. And we possibly have a shot at some accumulating snow later on next week. There's still major questions as to what this system will do, but right here at the base of this trough over here, as we see in our other long-range model 2, that's where a potential area of low pressure could build, and this reinforcing cold air will come on down and really give us a good shot at accumulating snow. Again, we don't know the exact details yet, but I'll keep you updated at Snyder_WX on Twitter and Instagram. 7-day temperature averages, we cool you back down tomorrow, 4 degrees below average, but we warm you up for Sunday and Monday with highs as high as 9 degrees above average, cooling you back down to 15 degrees below average for Thursday, 2 degrees above average for Friday as that next system moves on through. And here's the 10-day air masses. Warmer air right now, cooler air tomorrow. Again, we really cool you down by the middle of next week. There's next Thursday, that potent trough over our area before we warm you back up for next Saturday as that system comes through. Extended forecast, look at this, 55 on Monday with a 90% chance of rain, cooling you back down to 49 on Tuesday with more rain, snow possible on Wednesday morning with a high of 33, and warming you back up into the 40s by next Friday. Back to the desk.
Thank you, Nicholas. The holiday season, oftentimes it is synonymous with food, excuse me, and that food often is quite unhealthy and has many wondering how they can maintain a healthy diet during this time of the year. In today's Health Minute, Jeremy Roth has some advice on how to stay healthy during December and January.
Don't you just love the holiday season? It's the most wonderful time of the year when you're surrounded by friends, family, and food, all the food. And while that may be your favorite part of the holidays, for others it can be one test of willpower after another. If you're on a diet or have certain food allergies, this time of year can feel like a minefield. But have no fear, with a little planning, you can sail right on through. First, make sure you have a strategy. Maybe eating at home before you go to the party is the best way for you to avoid temptation. And be sure to practice how you're going to graciously decline your aunt's special casserole, no matter how thick she lays on the gilt. If you still want to partake, grab a plate and fill it up once. That's it. This can help you avoid picking and snacking directly from serving dishes all night. Another great way to make sure you can eat at an event is to simply bring your own dish. Make something that falls in line with what you can have and share it with the crowd. For today's Health Minute, I'm Jeremy Roth.
The holiday season is meant to be a time for generosity and goodwill, but that also leaves many vulnerable to scams and schemes, especially online. Mary Maloney has some important tips to avoid these holiday hustles in today's Consumer Watch.
If a stranger online promises you a gift in exchange for some personal information and a few bucks, it probably isn't legit.
Secret Sister gift exchange is something that we see online on Facebook. All you have to do is purchase a $10 gift and she'll tell you where to mail it, and then in return you're going to get 36 plus gifts in return. And the whole idea behind this is that you're not most likely going to actually get these gifts.
The Better Business Bureau says scams like Secret Sister could open people up to cybersecurity breaches and identity theft.
You're sharing your personal information with people that you don't know. They're friends of friends, and so things like your address, your Facebook profile, your email address, that's all now in the hands of people that you're not one-on-one connected to.
But gift-giving schemes aren't the only online Christmas cons. Buyer beware when clicking on those flashy social media ads from companies you may not have heard of.
Online scams is a big one nowadays, where we're seeing different companies who are popping up out of nowhere and, unfortunately taking people's money with nothing in return.
To protect yourself, take the time to research the company you're buying from. Be sure to pay with a credit card and read the fine print. A few simple steps to keep those Grinches from stealing your Christmas. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mary Maloney.
Apple says its phones don't track users if the location function is turned off. Earlier this week, a security reporter said the new iPhone 11 Pro was seeking a user's location even when the service was disabled. Apple denies this, saying the activity was related to its ultra-wideband technology. According to a statement from Apple, the technology is an industry standard that's subject to international regulations that require it to be off in certain locations. Because of that, the newest phones need to check to see if they're being used in countries where Apple hasn't yet received approval to launch ultra-wideband. That's why the arrow location indicator sometimes appears in the upper menu of newer iPhones. Apple said it plans to release a new iOS update that will include an option to disable the technology.
Hi, I'm Thomas Garver. Coming up on Newswatch, the Ohio women's basketball team has a brand new all-time steals leader. Find out who right after the break. And then later on, I sat down with Ohio Athletic Director Julie Cromer. Hear what she has to say about her time in Athens so far. That story and more when Newswatch returns. And do not go anywhere. Stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
Hi, I'm Rick Steves. Join me this holiday season for a colorful musical celebration of Christmas all across Europe. We'll explore festive markets, enjoy glorious local choirs, toast tasty holiday traditions with family and friends, and find some time to play in the snow. Along the way, we'll have some fun in the studio, sharing the latest tips about traveling smartly. It's my 2-hour holiday special, European Christmas.
Coming to PBS, a musical celebration of Vienna. Join us for a gala evening of song, dance, and romance. Hosted by Frederica von Stade and Maximilian Schell. From the historic concert house in the heart of the city, it's a salute to Vienna.
It's you I like. Hi, I'm Michael Keaton. Come to the Mr. Rogers neighborhood and celebrate the programs that have inspired more than 4 generations of children and parents.
Oh, I love this. It's the one where you blow really, really hard.
It's really magic. It's so far beyond just entertainment.
Well-known friends share their heartfelt memories on Mr. Rogers, It's You I Like.
Many of the world's most breathtaking landmarks have been inspired by faith. These sites of divine worship remain the focus of deep spiritual significance and extraordinary acts of devotion, rarely seen by outsiders. Discover the amazing stories and the incredible people that surround Earth's Sacred Wonders. Available with PBS Passport starting November 30th.
Welcome back. I'm Thomas Garver. The Ohio women's basketball team returns to the Combo tomorrow afternoon to take on IUPUI. Ohio comes back from their 2-game trip from Daytona Beach last week with a new all-time steals leader in CC Hooks. She passed Kira Lampkin's record of 229 steals in the Bobcats' 60-55 loss to Butler. Hooks broke the record in just 7 games into her junior year. Let's put that in perspective for a second. It took Hooks just 72 games to get the record. Lampkin's had 229 steals in 95 games. Absolutely bonkers.
No, that's bizarre. I mean, nobody should break career school records 7 games into their junior year. You know, whether you play a lot as a freshman or not. I mean, it's just bizarre. It's something that whenever she's done playing, people are going to look at that record and they're going to have a hard time believing that that's actually the record. I mean, it's ridiculous what she does, and just has an uncanny instinct for the basketball.
Julie Cromer took over as the Ohio Athletic Director on August 31st of this year. Cromer being responsible for 16 different athletic teams at Ohio, she has certainly made good use of each of her first 97 days as AD. I sat down with Cromer to discuss her transition to Athens. Julie Cromer's time as the athletic director at Ohio has been brief but certainly busy. At her introductory press conference back in August, Cromer announced her 100-day plan to immerse herself in Athens. Today marks day 97 of that plan.
We're pretty well on track. There are going to be a couple of things that I wanted to do, a couple of meetings and things that we'll need to go deeper into December to get through, but for the most part, we've been able to stay on schedule.
Her plan was simple: look, learn, and listen. She's discovered a lot about what the Bobcats mean to the Southeast Ohio community.
The passion and pride that not only those who are here on campus and here in the Athens community, but also in our alumni base and family around the country runs very, very deep. People have been incredibly welcoming to me, and I think that is really a reflection of how much they love the university and how much they love their Bobcats.
Ohio fans and Cromer have experienced huge moments in Bobcat history in her 3 months so far. Frank Solich became the winningest coach in MAC history against Bowling Green. Cromer was also in Columbus, Ohio to see the Ohio women's basketball team beat Ohio State for the first time in program history. And she saw new head coach Jeff Bowles get his first win as the new leader of the men's basketball program.
They're great moments. They're moments we will talk about forever. You know, to be there, to watch Frank celebrate not only that evening, but also to hear our former players talk about the fact that we were approaching that record throughout the season. To watch him celebrate that with the team in the locker room was fun. The Ohio State victory is one that people will talk about for decades, and so the opportunity to be there and be part of that, and you know, it's been great to see Jeff's team get off to a good start. I have not been able to catch the post-game locker room victory dances, but I am definitely in for that. I think there'll be more of those to come as well. So it's been great.
That was part one of our conversation. Stay tuned on WAB.org Sports. For part two, we'll be talking about the football team. And I'm Thomas Garverick. That's it for sports. Back to you fine gentlemen at the desk.
Thank you, Thomas. A German zoo has a new star, Halloween the hippo. The little one got its name because it was born on October 31st. The zoo announced Friday that it's a male hippo. They say it's not safe to get looked at by a vet yet because of how closely the mom protects him. The baby hippo is also separated from its father for safety reasons too. The zoo says the whole family can be reunited when the mom gets less defensive. Meanwhile, Halloween is drawing in crowds stopping by to see him. He's expected to stay at the zoo for about 2 years until he gets older. Now let's head back to Nicholas for a final look at the weather.
Thanks, Ben. Here are your chances of seeing a white Christmas based on historical climate data. Around a 0% chance down further south and east. Up north towards us in Athens, around a 10% chance and around a 25% chance of seeing a white Christmas over in the northern and eastern portions of the viewing area. So historically, not much of a chance. But again, this is not much of a forecast necessarily. So we do have a shot at accumulating snow next week, so that may factor into the chances as we go in the next couple of days, guys.
Thank you, Thank you, Nicholas. It has been a pleasure working with you. We're also joined right now by our director, Mitchell Juergens. It's his last show tonight, as long as Tyler and I's. On behalf of the three of us, thank you all for welcoming us into your homes. Southeastern Ohio will always have a special place in our hearts.
And with that, this will also be the final Newswatch of 2019. We'll be back on the air in mid-January. You'll still be able to find all the latest news anytime at WOUB.org, excuse me.
Man, I'm going to miss you guys.
I'm going to miss you too, Tommy.
Gosh, it's crazy.
Hey.
Time flies, people move on, but I'll still be here. Nick will still be here. We'll be back. But
great content no matter what.
It certainly will not be the same without these two.
It will not. They're two of the most professional people I've ever worked with in my career. So, or three of the most professional people, yeah. Especially Mitch, yeah. So, congrats, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And yeah, once again, it's everybody from Athens, Albany, Benton County, Morgan, Perry, Hocking, every county in between. Thank you so much for welcoming us at your home. It's been a pleasure to join you guys.
Have a great night.
Have a great night.
Oh. Very sad. Come on.
Support comes from Buckeye Hills Regional Council, offering services to help seniors in reviewing and choosing the right Medicare plan and coverage.